कोई बात नहीं सेन्योरिटा, कोई बात नहीं, 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 कोई बात नहीं सेन्योरिटा, कोई बात नहीं.
My name is Gaurav Lalchandani, aka DJGL. That's my stage name, and obviously the name says I'm from a Sindhi family. Where my dad wanted me to go into business. I tried doing that, but here we are, didn't work out. I don't think I have any titles as such or any competitions. I mean, I took part in some DJ competitions. They're called War of DJs. I think when I started up around 6 or 7 years ago. But previously they used to have it with times, and that was really legit. So they used to be based on skill. But sorry to say, these days it's about popularity and the bangers you can play and you entertain the crowd. Okay, that's a part of it, but not the whole thing. So most of it is already fixed and the judges are biased these days. So I'm not really gonna go into the war of DJs unless it's legit. And so I don't have any titles as such, but I worked in a few good clubs. Thankfully, I've done residencies for I think 5 years. So yeah, so I worked in a few good clubs. I've done residencies in this club, OTM, and then Air Launch, and then High Life, which was where I got more of my fame from, these 3 clubs. Thanks to all of my staffs and my bosses for giving me the chance. And then I just turned a freelancer, I think 2 months ago. So it's going good for me. Yeah, no achievements as such, but
It's the money.
Obviously, at this point also I would say still growing. Probably after Gully Boy, we have an effect, undoubtedly. And then there's a lot of talent here, and I think people want to showcase it, but probably because of mainly family issues, and secondly they're scared. That's the second part, but firstly the family doesn't allow them to grow into the scene, because everyone's like, how will you make a living out of this, and who's gonna marry you if you do this? I was like, okay, marry you is not even a concern. It's the 21st century, man. Yeah, like post-millennials or millennials, we have people here and they don't really care about marriage these days. I mean, that's their personal perspective. I think for me, even for me, career comes first. Marriage and settling down, that comes later. My family, my career, that's on top. If I would choose, I would obviously choose my family, but I try to make, even my family wasn't supportive when I started off. They were like, my mom was, my dad was like, how will you make a living out of this? How are you going to live with yourself? How will you earn money? And I was like, I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just like 18. Let me try to do my thing. Like, you have a settled business. Why don't you go there and do it? Your sister's doing it. There's a lot of people that come up to me, Karishma to dukaan pe baidi hai, tu kya kar raha? Which means like, your sister is sitting at shop. Like, don't you have any shame? Why don't you sit at shop? I was like, she's good at it, so she's doing it. I'm not good at that, so let me not do that. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of people and a lot of artists that want to grow. They have it in them, but the family doesn't let them, which makes me sad, but I guess you'll just have to fight for it, because even my dad didn't listen to me. Now he's getting along, he's really happy. He gets happy when I show him my flyers and then my videos. See, I'm doing this, I did that. He's like, okay, that's nice, that's cool, that's good. So there's this routine I did with a Kishore Kumar track, which I haven't even heard properly because, Kishore Kumar. So I showed that to my dad and he flipped. Flipping your dad on a music where 6 years ago, 8 years ago, he doesn't want me to be a DJ, and then he's like listening to it and he's happy now, he's having a smile on his face. That's priceless. So people in Hyderabad, if you want something, please fight for it. Even if your family doesn't support, one day probably they'll understand. So just don't give up. Go for it. I don't know. I think even when I started off, there've been times I've just played for $100, 7-8 months, years ago. 7-8 years ago, I've just played for $100. I didn't even have money for petrol. I was like, okay, fine, I'll just come and play. Give me my petrol money. So I used to go there. I used to take 100 rupees and I used to play for 3 or 4 hours. So that's how I started off. And then right now, I think I get decent money. I can live on my own, even separately in a house. I wouldn't say I make great money, but the satisfaction that I get while playing and being on the decks, money can't buy it. I could probably do a corporate job, could be earning like 2-3 lakhs a month, or it could be even crores, but I don't think I'd get the same satisfaction like me being on the console for 3 hours and making people dance. But yeah, obviously, being practical, you have to have money to live in the world. So I think half of it was luck, half of it was my hard work too. I won't just say it's luck or hard work, it's both. So I turned out pretty fine, thankfully. Thanks to my parents and everyone who supported me. So yeah, I think the initial stages you'll have to struggle a lot. I'm still struggling, I would say. I'm not yet there where I want to be. So I don't think if you think about money, it's not going to work. At least it didn't work out for me in the start. When I thought about money and did it, I was like, no, it's not going to happen. That's when I sat on business, like when I used to sit at my dad's store. We were thinking about money. Come on, we are Sindhis, man. So I don't know, it never worked out for me. And then when I came into DJing, I was like, yeah, this is something I love. I have to do this. I have to make people dance and make them happy with music. So it worked out pretty fine for me. Money came in later, and right now I'm stable at least. So I earn decent and my parents happy, everyone's happy. So that's more than money for me. And I remember I was watching The Journey 1. I think I saw that 4 or 5 years ago. When I was just in the initial stages, I think I was just 2 years or 3 years experience as a DJ, and I was like, oh, this guy is so cool, he made something on Hyderabad. I didn't even know 2 or 3 people from that video. Like, who are these guys? I was in the scene already for 2-3 years and I never knew about these people. I was like, oh, this is so cool, man. The journey is nice, and look who's in the journey too. It's me. And of course, a lot of other talented people as well. So it makes me really happy to be a part of this journey. Can't express it in words.
हेलो, अरे तू मैकेनिक है पैजामा है? अरे वो लाल वाली मर्सिडीज बेस नको रे बाप, पहले वो सफेद वाली भिजा दे। मेरे को कामा है, बहुत कामा है रे भाई, एक तो भी गाड़ी भिजा दे। मेरे को कामा है, बहुत कामा है रे भाई, एक तो भी गाड़ी भिजा दे। काम कामा है, बहुत कामा है रे भाई, एक तो भी गाड़ी भिजा दे। मेरे को कामा है, बहुत कामा है। काम बच्चे से राम नाम सत्य ये खुले आम हत्या ये। काम बच्चे से काम बच्चे से सुन ले दो अच्छे से, डर जा मरने से। काम बच्चे से